Hello, everyone, and welcome to another horror review. Well, this finally arrived in the post yesterday. If you've heard heard me talking with our good friends at Actor Films, uh, this obviously was due out. Finally, got produced, all that good stuff. Blu-ray is created. It's now out in the universe for you all to check out and enjoy. Uh, this is like second or third, obviously. As you know, I've been talking to these guys a while. Loving the bits, fantastic people. Always great to see their work. So obviously, as soon as this arrived yesterday, that's what we're doing tonight. So just finished watching it. Premise of the story is we have Moira, who's a succubus living in despair and suffering of man until she meets Devin, and then her life changes. You know, she falls in love. Well, as much as a creature like herself can fall in love, she becomes part of his life, and then that's when things go horribly wrong. Right, where to start? Yeah, in the most part, decent movie. Get the premise. Few things kind of just sort of sticking with me. One thing, the sound. Especially whenever they're filming at Devin's place. It really, I don't know what happened in the editing, but at any scenes at his house, sound just goes completely off. It's don't know what happened there. Maybe if I can fix it before, because I know this is print the order, or I mean, you order these it's a bit like Amazon books, and stuff. So maybe I can have a look at that. I'll send a wee message with the timestamps where it sort of jumped out. Could be because this is an exclusive Blu-ray, and I've got it first, so maybe it's get a wee bit of touch it up. But yeah, there's a couple of bits of the sound just really takes you out of it. Very hissy. If that makes sense, just goes shh, and that made it. Sorry, excuse me, flipping. I've still got this stupid. I've got hay fever. I found out I've never had hay fever in my life, so I don't know how to cope with it. But because the pollen count's been so high, yeah, it's decided to mess with me. That's what all this is boiled down to. So finally, I've taken stuff and it's making me gurgle and that, and it's fun times. So, deepest apologies for that. But yeah, the sound, just a couple of bits, just really takes you out, which is a shame because it only seems to be in Devin's apartment. So whatever rig setup they had there is different from the rest of the movie, because the rest of the movie's fine. Just it's even balanced. You hear it, the music comes in, but whenever they've done it in that location, it's just really God, what was it? There was like something, it wasn't opening a can or something, but he was doing something like really basic, and the sound just went like up there when he was doing it, as if it was like mega amplified. Very, very strange. So obviously something. And as you know, this channel, flipping, we are plagued with sound, especially at the start, flipping sound issues. It's such a big thing, and it's hard when visuals are easy, believe it or not, because you can sort out the visuals, you can adjust the lighting, and you can see if something's not happening. But like now, if you've known my problem switching between microphones when I didn't change settings, when it switches over to the webcam mic, you can hear me as if I'm in a flipping tin hut going boom, 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 and I have no clue that it's happening until afterwards, and it's like, sound is a really hard thing. But yeah, and this just in Devin's apartment, just yeah. Hopefully I can get fixed. That's all I'm saying. Hopefully I can get fixed, and especially streaming release, they can probably replace the file and do all that. Oh, evening, Chris. How are you? Wah wah wah. Oh dear, man. Yeah, so we'll have this. Meet this first guy. I don't think we got his name. We don't get his name, but this dude's just laying on top of his bed in his shorts. He's kind of going, uh, which I've been doing for the last 3 weeks because it's the flipping humidity and the heat here is ridiculous. So I just don't even get in the. I definitely don't get in the covers. I just lay on top of the bed, and fans going. I'm just in my own state of misery. In fact, I'm surprised I haven't called us succubus the way it's been. Tuesday there we had a cool night, and I was in bed before 9 o'clock. That was me, lights out, right the next morning. But I know she shouldn't have laughed at the scene, but the guy landed up his bed, just huffing and puffing, just reminded me so much. I'm just like, yeah, that's been me for the last 3 weeks. I feel your pain, mate. But it wasn't do that. It was the whole setup is people, their misery, their unhappiness is what calls out to the succubus, is what she feeds on. Now, the character of Moira, good idea. But when I think of a succubus, I think of a temptress. I think of the siren song. I'm thinking of somebody that lures people in. And then at the last minute, when you're at the point of no return, that's when the horror comes. It didn't really come across, unfortunately. She's almost like, hey man, you want to bang? Oh, right, you've no choice. I'm banging you anyway. It's a bit sort of blunt. Now I know, obviously, a lot of Americans, they're kind of like, a lot of them are kind of like that anyway. That's the way they sort of mate, so fair enough. But I just thought there should be maybe a bit more of a tease, a whisper, calling out, not just appear and just jump on, jumps the first guy's bones and that's it. It was all kind of rushed and like just straight to the chase, but the mate should have been played out a wee bit more. So that was kind of disappointing, especially when she moves on to Devin. That definitely should have been played out more, but it wasn't. It was all kind of wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Oh, this feels different, and just straight. And there's more than enough time in this movie to do it. That's the thing, because there's plenty of other scenes that the bar scenes and all. There's plenty of other like additional scenes that maybe they could have taken a wee bit away from that and put a bit more into the slow seduction. So, like, to me, I would have liked to see her maybe withdraw from the first time. No, she was about to, seduce him, but then she feels something, so she withdraws, like, there and then, leaving him wondering. Just a wee bit of that, maybe just a wee bit of play. It could be me being overcritical, but yeah, I wasn't buying the character of Moira, which is a bit of a shame, as she's a central characterless. Two characters really did like were Rebecca and Dan. They had a playfulness to them, but a serious side. If I'm honest, I preferred their two characters in this than Moira and Devin in their relationship. The shame about Devin's character was we're getting this whole story of that he's hidden his feelings, as in he puts on a brave face, if that makes sense. But his inner turmoil, is there in his private moments. But we didn't see the other side of him because when he's out in the bar, he's morose. He can't talk to girls. He's just depressed. So there's no real difference between him out in the company of his friends and in public than in his private moments. So that was a wee bit hard to sell, if that makes sense. I was a bit frustrated because it was like I wanted to see him sort of happy, joyous, putting on, cracking jokes, being the life. I wanted them to be almost on par with Dan's character, if that makes sense. I wanted to see him bouncing off Dan, making the crude jokes as well, like a fake bravado, and then the minute the spotlight's off him, then we'll see the other side of him, and then that's what calls out, but nobody understands. And I didn't get to see any of that. This was a breath of fresh air compared to that shitty, horrible movie. With as much as I'm being critical, but then again, I'm not going to sit here. I have to have integrity. Yes, I've already stated these, and I'm going to support future projects. Because I really loved It Came From Somewhere. I love that campiness. I'm looking forward to Corn Zombies. I can't remember the full title, but the Corn Zombie one that's coming out. I'm looking forward to that. I'm wondering now, because the thing with Trepidity, and Steve's doing a serious horror. It's fun in shorts, but I don't know. I think maybe the campy sort of comedy horror might be his bag. I'll know better when I watch Attack of the Corn Zombies. Do you know what? That title, I mean, and I had the full title running about there. I'm like, that's not right. Yeah. I think Attack of the Corn Zombies will be the telling. I have a sort of suspicion where Steve and the team are like in the zone, and I'll know better after watching review the next movie. Yeah, this is I mean, it's limited, it's low budget, they're made very quickly. They're trying it out, so and go back to the interviews, you kind of know that the time scale these people work to is absolutely brutal. So I understand. So yes, I'm going to give it the same criticism as a big Hollywood movie because I see the creativity. You know what I mean? Here's the thing: I see these two movies on the same level. The reason I absolutely despise and detest Hollywood movies is they're so pretentious and they think they are it. Where give indie movie, support indie movies. You can see the story here. You can see it being told. You also know there's a lot of goodwill and free time given to people to make this movie. So I'm always gonna that's always gonna shine through. It could be biased, but I'm always gonna lean towards these sort of movies because I know the genuine love that's made, that goes into making them. Because this is not easy. Being creative, and especially if you're not like a bigwig, putting your heart and soul into something like that, you can't. You can only but respect it. All I'm doing is at the moment I'm just Joe Blogs audience member. I've just watched the movie, so I'm giving my first impressions. As if a group of us are sitting together or come out of cinema. I know that's the format of the show, but yeah, back to Devin's character. I'd like to see another side of him, the act that he puts on, but we kind of missed out on that. Who was Terry was a good character as well, the barmaid. And you got a sense of a group of friends and a sort of little community, and everyone's bouncing off each other, and they've all history together, and they've grown up together. They're living life, and I like that. Who was it? Rachel, the therapist. She was a bit of a cold fish. Very, he's going to these therapy sessions, and she's like being really obvious about her time and stuff. Like she's on a bit of a grift. I didn't like her character, but I don't think you're meant to like her character, if that makes sense. So I think the actress played a good role because she was doing that sort of, yeah, I'm here to milk you dry once a week. Yeah, we're not really going to get any answers, but you keep coming back. We'll do it. And obviously it's a case of, all right, your hour's up. Next. Which I don't know, I'm not a I don't know about therapy. I've got a thing some people swear by. as an industry, I don't know if it actually helps or if it's an enabling device. I've juries out, psychiatry in itself, people are still, there's no hard science. It's still a new young science, if that makes sense. And we haven't even touched the beginning of the realms of the human mind. We are massively complex creatures, like scarily so. So I've got a wee bit of a bias against therapy in general, and especially the way Americans do it. It seems like a cool thing just to be saying you're in it. I don't think there's actually genuine, attempts. Yes, Attack of the Corn Zombies is by Star as well. And it came from somewhere, which I reviewed. And Trepidity, another one I reviewed. God, I need to. I'm missing one. There's one I have to watch. I need to keep up with it. The whole slew of films. Like, these guys are beasts. They turn out movies, like, they don't mess about. Do you know when you've got somebody has an idea for a movie and they'll do a GoFundMe, Indiegogo, whatever it is, and they're like, "Oh, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming." These guys deliver. So that's one thing I'll say about them, that they deliver. Don't mess about. Same as 7th Street, same as Calvin. He delivers. He pumps them out. The problem is that the time constraints, because of budgetary limitations, and just timescale, they don't really have time, I think, to go over and flesh things out, and they definitely don't have time for reshoots. So you're always going to get that bit of describe it, the music, oh god, what's the sound I'm looking for when a band's like raw and it has that sort of grittiness to it, as opposed to polished pop music. I think that's the best way I can, and I'd say, I forget about it. Just there's that one thing, and you can tell it was definitely a setup issue, and it's come through, and I don't know how they missed it, because it really jumps out. But this is the equivalent of seeing like an indie band live, and you're getting the sound through the speakers, and it's raw and gritty, and everyone's sweating and jumping about, and the band's in your face. That's what these movies are like. And I can't get the word out of my brain that I'm trying to think of what it is. So sorry, but it's got that rawness to it that you have to appreciate from these sort of movies. So a lot of that I let go. I'm not going to pick that apart because I understand the circumstances. Like most indie horror and low budget horror movies, that's what these guys pull off with what they have is amazing. And then I'm just sort of being a gobshite as usual, and I'm picking apart, plot pieces and stuff. But anyway, back to it. So it all happens very quickly, but we see that Devin's going to therapy and that, and he's got this like hole inside of him, and then that's where he meets Moira. Moira comes to him, and this is all in trailer, so I'm not going to give away any major spoilers. By the way, all this is gleaned from the trailer because he's not happy with his life. He's on a downward spiral, and it's that misery that calls out to the succubus who feeds off it. But what changes is when she meets him, she, for once, feels something in return, as opposed to this endless feeding cycle. Well, that's it. I've done my job. I've always say this: if I get one person to buy, be it a film, a book from one of our contributing artists who have given time to this podcast, I need to ask, it's worthwhile. And I'm glad you did it. And I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was a really fun movie. I had, like the silliness of that movie, I just had so much fun reviewing it. This one's a bit different because it wants to be taken seriously. I think that's when my gears change. Have you noticed when I know a movie is goofy and fun and it's made in that sort of sense, my brain kind of goes there. But the minute a movie is, this is a serious drama, this is a serious horror movie, then my analytical brain kind of changes with the watching, and then I'm looking for a different experience. So if I see goofiness and silliness in a serious movie, then I kind of I'm not very forgiving of it. This kind of thing. I'm trying to go through this without spoiling it, because check it out. And obviously, if you disagree with what I'm saying, let me know in the comments. As always, don't be mean. Let's have a conversation. And that's all I ever ask of anyone who watches this channel. Let's talk about movies. And once again, like I'm trying to do now, is if you don't particularly enjoy something, explain why. With logic, and why it doesn't work for you. Because it's, who knows, if you don't mention it, the worst thing to do is you go, yeah, didn't enjoy it, yeah, or oh, really loved it, and getting no context. It's important as well for reviewing movies that the latter creators know that this worked for me, this didn't, that kind of thing. But enough of that. Moira quickly, gets involved with Devin, and just like lightning romance. We've all been there. And all your mates go, "What the hell is this?" No, my mates have, but they know I'm an idiot. And this is where we start to see the horror aspect, because with Moira being the sort of creature she is, the jealousy, everyone's a rival, and we're starting to see that it's not love with her, it's possession. And we'll see that so many times. People confuse love with something else. I've done it. Many other people have. You think it's love, but it's not. It's something else. It's part of your own fallacies. It's part of your own needs, and you kind of project that. So I think what we're starting to see here is Moira projecting love, that what she thinks is love, onto Devin, and Devin is looking for a cure for his loneliness. So the start, we don't see us as like two soul, it's a sampling name, two desperate souls. That's what you have, and they just happen to bump into each other in the universe. And they're both almost feeding off each other, if that makes sense. Because it's not like love, because I think love comes through when all's bird and the warts and the cracks and all that kind of stuff. That's when you see it. This we don't see between those two. That's why I'm saying Rebecca and Dan's character were much better grounded. Could be the actors had a better rapport with each other, or what, I don't know. It's just those two played off each other much better. So things progress, and obviously that's when we start, and it's the jealousy of Moira that triggers, a lot of the events. What I don't get, though, was Rebecca's character. They keep making hints that she's into witchcraft and, interested in the occult, but we don't see any of it. Once again, always, and this is just across the board, people don't seem, like, when it's translated in the film, the occult doesn't seem to come across very well. The only time the occult and ritual ever seems to work are exorcist movies. Movies about exorcism, but that's more about religion as opposed to the occult. But that's the only time you ever see it translated well. But any sort of witchcraft movie, I would have liked to have seen Rebecca's character, maybe display a bit of it, because in all intents and purposes, she was a normie. Her character's a normie and just said random things on a phone. But we didn't get that sort of witchy aspect, which was the only feeling quality. It seemed like a bit of a random thing to bring up. Now, I kind of get it's a plot point. It's somebody has to recognize Moira for what she is. I think actually, because there's a bit of a Kelly's character was a bit of a wasted one. She didn't really get much airtime in it, and the way her character's set up, she would have made more sense to be the sort of occult-esque witchy character, and she just happened to be Rebecca's friend slash roommate. And I think it would have made more sense for her to have made the revelation of what Moira was, as opposed to Rebecca making the revelation. I think that's a bit the sticking them. I think it doesn't sit true. If Kelly's character had been more the sort of, oh, what you're dealing with is a succubus, and then that would have brought her more into the story, because she was a bit of a side character, and bit of a waste, because obviously I talked to the actress and she's great, and maybe I'm just wanting to see more more our time with her. So obviously I'm going to check out other movies. But yeah, in this movie, I think she would have been the better catalyst to reveal more for what she was, as opposed to Rebecca's character. Also, I didn't get why, once again, Rebecca's character decided to go up against Moira with absolutely no preparation. Like, I was expecting a Val Helsing type, character, but for succubus, as in, okay, how do you kill a succubus? How do you protect against a succubus? How do you fight a succubus? Yeah, we got none of that. Which I was kind of looking forward to, but yeah, it didn't pan out that way. So things kind of go on. Gonna keep it short because I don't want to give spoilers, because I want you to watch the bloody movie and then tell me what you thought. I don't want to lay it all out for you because it's literally just hot off. It's just off the press released. So that'd be a bit shitty of me to be like, yeah, I'm going to tell you the entire plot. Nah, 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 nah. That'd be a bit of a dick move, which I'm not going to do that. The resolution at the end. Now, in this version, there's the alternate ending and the original ending. I didn't like the alternate ending. It was really, really flat. Although there's an aspect of the alternate ending with Devin's character that could have brought in to the main ending. And it's all about, to me, I'll just put it like this, there's nothing more horrifying than a damned creature or monster embracing what it is and reveling in it. So you have the denial. Think of the Omen series. Omen 1, completely unaware. Omen 2, in denial. Omen 3, completely embraces what he is and revels in it. I think there was a possibility here that Moira and Devin could have been a better reveal. And then that aspect of, well, actually, this is what I am. I'm in, I'm going to just embrace it and be that thing. Are you along for the ride or not? Especially with the event at the end, which I'm not going to spoil, but there was a potential of, let's just say, invaders of dreams, that no family's safe, if that makes sense. I'll just put it that way. You could have had a chance of, invaders of dreams feeding off hurt and misery, and that, but we didn't get that, which is a bit of a shame. I think another cool thing would have been there was a joke, they were joking, Rebecca and Dan, about foursomes and stuff. I think actually, if there had been a foursome and then the other two ended up dead, that would have been absolutely hilarious. Just horrifying, but that didn't happen either. But that's just my twisted brain going, yeah, that would be fun to just see that happening. Oh, I heard that movie. That's, yeah, I think I did all right. No, what a dumb joke is the latest installment, from what I hear. That's the dumb joke. Yeah. There's an example. I'm happy that, oh, by the way, I've got producers credits in this movie, by the way. You'll see my name pop up in the credits. Yeah, I'm famous. But I'll happily support 100 of these movies even though I'm going to pick the plot apart, than watch dumb Hollywood shit that hates my guts for a start and is just off the conveyor belt. So I'll leave it at that. Right, that's my review. Yeah, there's areas I'm frustrated and disappointed in. I wanted to kind of, there's things I wanted to see explored which didn't happen. But all in all, for the movie, it's a cool movie. It's the actors do a decent job. You see some interplay of each other. There's a bit of rapport there, which is nice. Just those, when I have an expectation of a particular creature, I think that kind of skews my review a certain way. If you say vampire and it's walking about in the daylight and sparkling a bit and not drinking blood, then I'm kind of going, what the hell is this? Yeah, if I see a werewolf movie and it turns into a poodle, with like a fluffy collar, it's all as if it goes to the groomers and stuff, I'll be like, what the hell is this? There's certain things I expect from the classic monsters of myth and legend. And there we go. I think we shall leave it there. That's cool. Hope you enjoyed the review. I hope it was even-handed. Like I said, I've always going to support these guys. They're great. Check out ActorStar Films, definitely, because they've so much going on. They're not going to stop anytime soon, which I hope. Carry on making loads of movies. Not everyone's going to be to my taste, because at the end of the day, they're not just a one-trick pony. They're going to do different things. So some are going to land with me and some aren't. But we're all like that. We've all got our personal preferences. If you watch this, please do, and you enjoyed it, and you think maybe you disagree with some of the points I've made, please let me know in the comments. Like I said, we'll have a conversation. Otherwise, just let me know what you think. Right, there we go. So, hope you enjoyed that. Keep up to date with the channel. Do the type of clicky things. And until next time, keep it creepy. Keep it horrific.